once you have that ability to focus down on the one or two things that are really important to you, then you can put all of your energy and your effort, you can put your expertise focused on the right things so that you and your team can perform at their best and ultimately deliver success. Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks, and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply to your organisation for your high performance. Enjoy. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Helping You Perform, where I bring my tips, tricks, insights and stories from the world of F1 and other high-performing teams and help you apply those learnings for yourself so that you can accelerate your own performance. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode 31, which was all about failure and the lessons that can be taken around the inevitability of failure. How can you cope with it? What can you do about it? What attitude can you take to failure in your life and your business? Now, in this episode, I wanted to talk about one of the key things that can prevent failure in the first place and help you actually deliver success. And that's the topic of focus. Now, this has come up in a lot of my conversations recently with clients, with people I've talked to. I've been talking on other podcasts as well. And the importance of focus for everybody, not only as an entrepreneur like myself, but as somebody who is in a team or within a wider organization, the ability to focus and what that means to help you and your team and your organization perform can be critical. Now, if you think about this for yourself, you can't deliver everything in your life to the top quality that you potentially want to. There's just too much to be there. So you focus on the things that are really important. It's the same with any team, with any organization, and particularly when it comes to strategic objectives, projects, improvement pieces of work. The ability to focus on a few, or even one, ideally one or two big ones that really shift the dial, is something that will set you apart from people who try to do improvements in loads of different areas. Because once you have that ability to focus down on the one or two things that are really important to you, then you can put all of your energy and your effort, you can put your expertise focused on the right things so that you and your team can perform at their best and ultimately deliver success. Now, I'm going to steal with pride, shall we say, but I'm going to reference a very good friend of mine, first guest on my Helping People Perform podcast, which is Ferris Aranki of Shiagetto Consulting. Now, he has the success equation. He talks about success being a combination of EQ, IQ, and FQ. Now, EQ is emotional quotient, which is all about how you can connect with people and how you can get them to actually make a change. IQ, intelligence quotient, which is all about how good your ideas are in the first place. But the key bit that he saw was missing, and the bit that he's actually trademarked this as well, FQ. Yes, you heard me right. Just make sure it's there. FQ, focus quotient. And that is the ability to focus down on the key things that are actually going to shift the dial. And if you try to do things, too many things at once, and if you try to do the things or focus on the things that aren't going to shift the dial, then obviously what you're going to get is poor outcomes and poor success. So focus is critical. And I saw this whilst in my time in McLaren, both in terms of what the focus of the organization was, where that effort is being put in play, but also within the teams. Everybody has a role to play, and that key element of what is your role in this overall piece. And I want you to focus as much as your effort as possible on just that thing. Now, to take this to the extreme, you might think of the driver. Ultimately, what you want the driver to do particularly during the race period, is focus purely on the race. And one of the mechanisms that they use in that world to help that is that the communication channels are such that only the race engineer has the ability to talk to the driver directly. What you don't want in those moments of high pressure and performance are many voices in the ear, many different thoughts, many different questions, all the stuff that's happening in the background. The driver doesn't need to know that, and it will be distracting and take their focus away from the performance at hand. So have a think about that with your teams. Who are the drivers? Who are the people who are actually performing, doing the thing in your operation? Now, that might be people who are making your product. It might be people who are selling your product or providing a service to your customers directly. What are you doing to enable them to focus all their energy, or as much energy as possible, on purely delivering that value? And one of those key areas that have come up in a lot of the organization that I've worked with is about the noise that people have. What are the clear communication channels that allow people to focus and be clear that when I am being talked to, it's for a real reason, it's vital in this moment, and it's something that's going to help me with my performance. It's not just a question, a challenge, oh, have you thought about this? And then you've got various different people pulling in different ideas. It's something that has been thought through and is deliberately being communicated to you to allow you to perform. Now, when it comes to teams in your organization, have a think about that for yourself. Are they being allowed to focus on the things that they are there to deliver? Are you clear in the first place about what they're there to deliver? And are you clear as to what their current priority and current focus is? And once that is understood and well communicated, are you putting in checks and balances to make sure that other things aren't coming in and providing noise and taking that focus away? Because ultimately that will stop the performance that you're trying to drive. So as well as the IQ, the value, how good your ideas are in the first place, the EQ, the ability to connect with people and to get that change happening and to get that emotive impact within people. Think about that FQ, the focus quotient. What is your ability to focus down? How many strategic objectives have you got at the moment? If you go into your organization and you say, oh, we've got the top 20 strategic objectives. Well, how are people going to focus on 20 things? They can't. They can't really focus on more than 2 or 3. Ideally, you want them focusing on one so that they can deliver that one thing right now. So what is the focus of your organization? Are you really clear and crisp and concise? But are you also putting in place mechanisms to allow people to focus on those key priorities and to make sure that other things aren't coming in to distract them from those key focus areas as well? As always, if you want to have a chat about this, contact me at paulteasdale.co.uk. If you want to talk to Ferris at Shia Ghetto Consulting, more than happy to put an introduction into him as well. He does some amazing work. So get in touch, share those stories with me, think about what your current focus is and focus down on it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.